Hello.
When you go to Turkey, you can't help but be impressed by the way they honour their old soldiers. On the ferry across the Dardanelles, young soldiers told me they were privileged just to touch and be in the company of men who defended their country at Gallipoli. And later that day, during the Turks' main celebrations at Çanakkale, the area from which the Turks drew their soldiers, you don't have to be Turkish to get the drift of a young girl's passionate tribute to their diggers. Despite the bloodbath, and incidentally for each ANZAC life, 8 or 10 Turks were killed, there is surprisingly no bitterness at Gallipoli towards Aussies. On the contrary, there's a surprising warmth and friendship, not only from the last surviving diggers, but from their descendants. This man's ancestor fought against the ANZACs. 2 generations later, the respect born on the battlefield lives on in his grandson. It's also interesting that Turks don't say they beat us at Gallipoli. To them, it was an honourable draw. Most Australians at the time saw Gallipoli as a bitter defeat. 75 years on, Gallipoli has come to mean more than that.
And that's what always affects me when I see these lonely graves in the cemeteries of ANZAC. The innocence lost and the terrible waste.
You see, out of defeat, there was a victory. The victory was Australia's victory. We weren't known really until that particular day in 1915, and that's the day that Australia became known to the rest of the world, and it's remained so ever since.
Perhaps the real triumph of Gallipoli for both sides was the survival of the human spirit. In a harsh, murderous, stinking, diseased environment, you could forgive men for sinking to the most base animalistic instincts, to take joy in killing and the suffering of the enemy. Yet stories abound on both sides of Turks and Aussies exchanging kindness and gifts with each other. When the opportunity arose, there was respect and decency. The cruelty of Gallipoli could not crush that. Even after the war, our most famous foe, Mustafa Kemal or Ataturk, penned these moving words now written on the ANZAC Cove cemetery. You, the mothers who sent their sons from faraway countries, wipe away your tears. Your sons are now lying in our bosom and are in peace. Having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well. No war which generates such friendship could ever be called futile. On the 100th anniversary of Gallipoli, none of these original diggers will be alive. We may never see their like again.